everyone. My name is Shailja and I work for Rutgers University. I want to talk about diabetes today. Diabetes runs in my mother's side of the family. My grandfather, her father, lived with diabetes for more than 30 years. And my mother was the eldest daughter of five daughters and a son, and she had undiagnosed gestational diabetes with her third child, which was me. Soon after she was diagnosed with full-blown or straight type 2 diabetes, I also had gestational diabetes and now live with diabetes. And today I want to talk about the history of diabetes in my family. So by the time my mom was diagnosed, she had probably lived with prediabetes, insulin resistance, and metabolic syndrome for many years prior to that. And she had no support or guidelines in those times. And as a South Asian woman, self-care was not on her list. A lot of organ and tissue damage had probably happened in those years before she was diagnosed. And she lived for only 17 years after the actual diabetes diagnosis. And she passed away at a very young age of 55. I was young and in college when my mother passed away. I wanted to take my personal tragedy and grief and turn that loss into a positive force, a purpose. I felt empowered to make diabetes care and management my life's work. I became a registered dietitian and a peer leader with diabetes management groups, and I started to write grants and co-authored several culturally tailored materials for South Asians living with diabetes. I run support groups for South Asians living with diabetes. And you might know that many South Asians live in multi-generational settings. Support from our immediate family members is very important. Family members need to learn about the changing needs of the person living with diabetes so we can support them and perhaps help them slow the progression of the disease. People living with diabetes, especially women, need to be coached on self-care. Often women end up taking care of the entire family and extended family and thinking of themselves last. By being part of DiabetesSisters and a PODS leader, I have learned a lot over the years from my support group participants. Some of them come with many years of experience with living with diabetes. We have exchanged recipes, we have cooked together on Zoom during the pandemic, we have exchanged texts on a tough day, and not only that, we have done activities outside of the support group. I look forward to my monthly support group meetings and seeing everybody's faces, sometimes smiling and sometimes not. We should not undermine the lived experience of people with diabetes. The peer exchange is valuable and powerful. It gives us confidence and empowers us to try changes that somebody else has successfully already implemented. We're kind of connected to each other in a peer support group by purpose. And we are in a non-judgmental space to learn from each other's experiences. With peer support, we can find ways to deal with stigma, which is often attached to having diabetes. South Asian women often enter marriages that have been arranged by the elders and are forced to not disclose their diabetes status. I have a cousin in India whose prospects of getting married have been impaired twice by the stigma. And even in the immigrant population of South Asians here in the US, I have heard of similar stories. We all know that living with diabetes can be exhausting. For me, the PODS support group is a place I can ask for help if needed. It is a place I can say, I'm not okay. I know that others in the group understand that feeling and they will always step forward to help. Having a Diabetes Sisters support group has given me a chance to create a community. I'm passionate about this, and doing it gives me my spark to keep going. It is my tribute to my mom, who has been gone for 30 years this year. I hope that my work will inspire others to take care of their condition and live a long and healthy life. Thank you.